Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or play in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual, real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. Title off. Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. Just slightly early. No problem. We're just eager to get into the song. My name is Jamin, and this is the incomparable Kendra.
Guess what? I thought of another guess what. I got to go to the beach a couple days ago, which was really, really fun because I hadn't been to the beach in a while.
Yeah, and doing anything these days is just fantastic.
But I went with my friend and my mom, and we got this little spot away from other people. And it was really nice.
That's lovely. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Getting out. Well, today we are not doing what is listed up here. We are not doing that thing. We're doing What a Wonderful World. So this is going to be a crossover lesson from the kids lesson. So every now and then we have a song that is in the kids lesson that also is a song that a lot of the adult students would want to do. And I realized we hadn't done this one yet. This is What a Wonderful World. So I'm going to show you kind of how the kids lessons are set up. I know a lot of you already have crossover subscriptions. You have adult and kids subscriptions because you want to do the kids songs, but you want to learn the adult concepts. So in case you haven't seen these before, it is colorful and looks like a kids lesson because these are written for the kids lessons. But I'll show you how all of this stuff totally applies directly to all the adult lessons. And these things, when we do these songs, they're in 5 or 6 different levels for each song. So this is What a Wonderful World written at, I think it's actually 7 different levels in this one. So even me, like, I would find something to be challenged by in this, even though it's going to start off really easy. So let me give you an idea of where we're going to go here in the lesson, then we'll get started. This is the level 1 stuff. This is just going to give you exactly the letter names. I'll walk you through this stuff here in just a second, kind of like we do in the beginning tutorials in the adult lessons, but it's just more colorful. And then it's the exact same thing, but on the lines and spaces of the treble clef. So this looks a little scarier, but the letters are still written in on all of the notes. So it's actually just as easy to find the notes, but it's got a little more detail about how to play it, what the rhythms are, and some chords and stuff like that. On level 3 is where it's actually written out with the treble and the bass clef, so it tells you exactly what to play in the left hand and when you're supposed to play it. So right on the word trees, you'd play a C there. If you're lost right now, don't worry. I'm about to show you some notes here in just a second. This will get less boring as soon as I assure all the people who are like, what, this is going to be boring, that you've got plenty to be challenged by in here. So level, also in level 3 is where we give you all the chords right here. So this is a great opportunity for you, if you haven't played chords before, to have like a real world experience of trying to play these chords, trying to transition between the chords, which is always the hardest part, and starting to memorize some of the minor and major chords that you need in real life. And then here is the chart for the key of F. So then if you're working on scales, probably in Clavicle Academy, I think level 2 is where you get into the key of F. I know you got to actually play the full scale in level, I think it's 3. I don't know. Those levels get a little bit mixed up for me. But so you get some practicing in a different scale there. And then level 4 is where things start to get real. You've got chords that are written in for you that you can add in your right hand, as well as a written left hand. It's going to sound like a piano solo. So if we go to level 4 here, we'd have... something like that. So if you can already do that, you're like, oh yeah, that's way too easy, then you're gonna want to dive into some of the additional stuff that we talk about in learnpianolive.com/level4 about how you can add in other chord tones and stuff. And then today at the end of the lesson, hopefully if we've got time, I'm gonna cover this and show you guys some other options of what other skills, tricks, tools you could use on top of this. Level 4B, yes, it keeps on getting more and more difficult. This is in the key of F because the key of F is the key that Louis Armstrong sings it in. So if you want to play it in his key and you want to just jump straight to his key, you'll want to jump straight to level 4B. That's on page 16 of this thing. So it's like 22 pages, something long. So you don't just open up the file and click print. That will use up all the ink in your printer because it's a long PDF. So that's level 4B. And then in level 5, we get to just turning everything into numbers so that you can switch this around to any key. You can do modulations and whatever you want to do with it. And then the bonus material is the entire actual song in the key of F with chord symbols. It's the lead sheet for it. So it's got the melody and the chords in there so you can do your own version. Let me play through some of that. And then, as promised, I will get back and just show you the straight up notes and you can play it no matter what your level is. But if you want to zoom out, this would be something like... And if you can do that easily, then yeah, you're right. You're going to be bored by this lesson. So maybe find something else to work on. But that's the goal here, is that if you wanted to stick with it all the way through, you could go from I've never seen a piano before all the way up through that level on this one PDF. Most people are just going to try like level 1 or level 2 or level 3. Just pick a level and then just try to learn that chunk of the song at that level. So you do not have to go through the entire thing. Just pick something that's a good challenge for you, that's not terribly confusing, but not terribly boring, and try that. But for right now, the easy version, as promised, let's play these first notes here. We need to play a G, and if you would zoom in for me, I'd appreciate that. Take any group of 3 black notes on the entire piano. Any of these work. You're gonna take the middle note, and you're gonna drag it slightly down, slightly to the left, and you're gonna land on a G every single time. So, because G is the last note in the musical alphabet, the note after G is going to be an A, because it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G. Okay, so we're going to start on any G, and we're going to go up 1 note to an A. These lines are very important, connecting these notes, because it tells you whether you're going to go up to a note or whether you're going to go down to a note. So we're going to go from G up to A, and then from A up to C, which would skip over a B. There's no B right there. So the very first 3 notes you're gonna play is G, A, C, and that's I see trees. Yeah, okay, cool. So then that might take a little bit of practice to get that down. Make sure you say the words out loud. Especially you adults really hate saying the words out loud as you go. I guarantee it will help you, especially with your rhythms. I see trees. No one's around, no one's listening. Just whisper it to yourself, but actually make some sounds with your mouth out loud, and it'll help you with your rhythms. I see trees. Of is going to be another C, and then we're going to jump up to a G. So that means you're going to jump over 3 notes, go from this C all the way up to G. I see trees of green. That might take some practice right there. I see trees of green. Once you have that down, you're gonna go up 1 note. Again, these lines are important. You can tell this one is going slightly up instead of a long, long, long way down. If it was going to an A from G and it was going to here, you'd see the note go way down to A, like that. But it does not go way down to A. It goes slightly up to A, so you wanna go slightly up to an A. So far we have, I see trees of green, red roses 2, and then we're gonna go down 1 note, land on an F, play 3 of them, and say out loud. Say out loud. I see them. Go down 1 note, you'd land on an E. You're gonna say out loud bloom. You're gonna go down 1 note and play 3 of those and say for me and, then down 1 note to a C and say you. So again, all of that would be I see trees of green, red roses 2, I see them bloom for me and you. And then we got 2 more C's for the words and I, and then we're gonna play a bunch more C's for think to myself what I, and then we got the last 4 notes of this song are gonna be a B, and then a C, and then a D, and then a C. So if you play with me, it'd be something like, I see, go ahead and try that with the G and the A, ready, go. I see trees of green, red roses 2, I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And that'll take some practice. If you did not get that perfectly all the way through, that's perfectly fine. If you only got the first few notes and then you got lost when you try to jump from a C to a G, that's fine. Everybody's been there. It just means you haven't done a whole ton of songs yet, and you're still getting used to letters. So take as much time as you need to practice that. Go ahead and pause the video right now if you want and just screen capture that. If you don't want to print the whole thing out, you can use that. But let's go ahead and take our feature of the day for right now, and then we'll jump into the intermediate and advanced versions of this song. And for today, I want to show you kind of the way that I would recommend you progress through the songs, which we do in the kids' lessons. But no matter what song you're working on, what I recommend is you start out with the melody and saying the words out loud. I'd recommend you start out with the melody and saying the words out loud. Really, truly, that's going to, I believe that's going to help your rhythms a whole lot. what we end up with for beginner students especially is whenever we've got a lot of the same note in a row, our brains like to play that note a whole lot, like just straight through. So like, for example, right here, we've got 3 C's. So the song should go, I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think. But if you are just reading these notes straight through, you're not going to play it like that. You're going to play, I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom. Watch this part. For me and you, and I think to myself, what up? And it wrecks the song because your rhythms are all messed up. You're not supposed to play 3 C's all in a row there. You're supposed to have a little break in there. And if you're not thinking about the words as you go through, you're probably going to mess up those rhythms like every other human that I've taught. So make sure that you're saying the words out loud, or at least thinking them really loudly. I would recommend you at least whisper. Compromise with me on this one. So playing the melody and saying the words out loud, it would be the first thing. And then the next thing would be on here, we do this for the parents. We don't really do this for the students because parents want their kids to be able to read sheet music, which is totally legitimate. That's fine. So we put this in here on the sheet music for parents to have their kids be able to play sheet music so they can give them other sheet music. The kids usually just want to play songs. That's what I want to do. I just want to play songs. I think that's what you want to do. You just want to play songs. Parents want their kids to learn stuff. So then we put this on sheet music, but this is where we start to introduce a little bit of left hand. So this is where things can start to get creative. And what I'd recommend is for you, no matter what song you're working on, if possible, you would start with the melody, say the words out loud, and then just start with the roots of the chords if you have that available to you. So playing I see trees of green, red roses too. So here we would just be playing a C on trees, and then an E, and then an F before red, and then an E on 2, and then a D before I, and a C on bloom. And you don't have to do all of them. Just trying some of that is going to be a great next step for you. So if that's a challenge for you, then do that. If it's not a challenge for you, then you probably want to start throwing in the actual chords themselves. So like I see trees, playing the full C chord and E minor, which is why on level 3, that's where we put all these chords in here. So even if you're not familiar with chords yet, if playing the roots is not difficult for you, then you should probably start inserting some chords in there. In your left hand is what I would recommend. And then after that is when, in level 4, when we start talking about putting chord tones in your right hand. So again, the progression is melody, saying the words out loud. Melody with saying the words out loud, then inserting roots only, and then inserting chords only, and then inserting chords underneath the melody in the right hand. And again, all that's explained in learnpianolive.com/level, whatever level you're talking about. Then after that is where things start to get crazy, of course. And then from there, if you can already do that, if you can do chords in the right hand and chords in the left hand, and you can include the melody, then you need some help one-on-one to know what's next for you, because your path could go a lot of different directions after that. So anyway, no matter what song you're working on, that's what I recommend for you. But I think it's time to move on to the intermediate version here, where we're going to actually attempt some of that stuff. We're doing two-handed stuff. So if that was a challenge for you already to say the words and play the notes, then don't move on to this next section. Just go practice. But for everybody else, let's go to the intermediate version right now. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check it out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.